So everybody always talks about Joe knows black market. Joe knows black market. Oh, Joe knows so good. You know, black market's so great. They're so dominant. But what really makes them so dominant? What really makes Joe knows one of the best 2K players on the planet? We'll actually break down some of the film right here to kind of go through some of the concepts and things that they do that a lot of players don't really pay attention to, and what really separates those top tier levels of players from the other players who might be playing in rec, lower levels of pro-am, proving grounds, etc. So if you want to be the best of the best, if you want to play more like Joe knows and black market, you definitely want to check out this film right here. So we're going to break it down starting with this one. So real quick, we'll just we'll just start with Bills real quick. So try not to stop and start OD, but so you see Joe knows he's on a 6'2", 99 3 ball, 95 ball handle, 95 speed, 94 speed with ball, 92 pass hack. So very high pass hack. You have a Garland pass style. You have Steve Francis, which is one of the best moves in the game. 99 3 balls, so you have all legend shooting badges. So this is all things that you want to be able to pay attention to. He is vet 2, so he's going to have a lot more badges. I'm sorry. A lot more cap breakers, which are going to allow him to have more badges. And it allows his player to be even better than what it can be. You see a lot of his strengths are dribbling, passing, three-point in the midi. He has some spots and different things. You see he still has a good amount of dunk. So this is going to allow him to still be able to rim run the same Joe No style. Maybe not as crazy as it used to be in past 2Ks, but it's still very predominant, and we'll kind of break this down a little bit more. You have Hoff here, same thing. Like here, he has a little pop, very minimal pop, but 99 offensive rebound, 96 strength, 94 D board, 93 pass hack. So he's willing to throw the break. He has, he can really be able to run bucks, be able to shoot. They, able to run from different spots. They're able to still run 5 out. He can go to the corner. He can be able to set up. But 99 O board, that legend rebound chaser is crazy. It's one of the best overpowered build, in my opinion, overpowered badges in the game. So you definitely want to have that as a big. As a footer, it's great. You don't have challenger though on a footer build. Anything over 7 foot, you aren't allowed to get challenger. So you're gonna watch exactly how Hoff plays, and we'll kind of break down a little bit more of it, and we'll go over a full regular piece right now, and then we can break down each player specifically. Gliz, another one, 99 3 ball. This is arguably one of the best, if not the best, shooting guards on the game. See 99 3 ball, 96 speed, 95 ball handle. So Steve Francis again, 96 speed. This means he's going to be break man. When you see that the ball is going up on the other side, this man's already going to be pretty much going on the other side of the court. We'll kind of talk about that kind of stuff. And you'll see, because he's going to be playing at the top of the zone too. Tough one to start with. Dang. Look, easy one. He got it right back. They tried to spark him. He got a bad catch. Wound up throwing it though. Swag Godley, one of best 2K players as well. He's come a tremendous long way. Also a great content creator. See playing 5 out. Interested to see how they're going to be able to adjust. Beautiful call. Notice right here. He calls it up the court. He's calling the cut off the court. Hoff is getting to a spot. He's touching the corner and hitting a cut. So a lot of times, when people are really getting set up on defense, when we talk about get back on defense, this is what we mean. Get back on defense, because players like Joe knows, top players, top point guards, they're going to recognize this. They're going to see that the defense isn't completely set, they're kind of ball watching the PG, seeing exactly what's going to go on, that they're very susceptible to a lot of backdoor cuts, which is exactly what Joe does right here. That was a great snatchback. He got bailed off that one. Look at this. Watch Gliz, bro. You see the shots going up? This man's already getting out in transition. As soon as the thing switches, look at him. Like, this is what we talk about. He started in one direction. As soon as the screen turned, he's out in the opposite direction. This is how you get back on the break. This is how you run great fast break. Fast breaks is using that screen turn to your advantage. And if they wind up having to cut, it's even worse because it's really jarring. So as a shooting guard, you want to make sure that your guy, like your team, has position. They have the board. Make sure the board is secured. Otherwise, you are going to get cooked. If you're leaking out like this, because it's going to be easy pass back, it's going to be easy three. But as long as you know your people have the board, he's looking. He starts going in one direction, screen turns, boom, he's in the opposite direction. Flying. Now it's an easy, quick throw right there by Hoff. You saw high pass act right there. He's able to outlet it. That's an easy three. That's tough. Bauer got kind of stuck a little bit. Kind of just held out too. Wasn't expecting to fade. It really was, bro. UC Bauer was stunned off that shit. I would have been stunned off that shit too. Beautiful right there by Bauer. Got it right back. He's taking the information. He's recognizing, paying attention, looking at it. Look at how he's coming. He's meeting him to the angle. He's watching the animations. He's watching the past couple plays. As soon as he goes to cross, he's beating him to the spot. As soon as he tries to switch ball hands, he's moving his body into the way to get the bump, to be able to just, knock the ball out of his hands. Easy blitz steal. And now they're starting to get momentum. Oh, that's tough. But that was a great look. He kind of, Gliz right here. As soon as you see this, when you heard him say go down, Hoff, it's because of this right here. As soon as this guy comes up, that's a lot of speed with ball. That's a lot of speed on that build. This guy winds up taking a bad angle, and they wind up being able to blow right by him. Now you have the advantage. Instead of it being a 5-on-5, it's actually a 4-on-5 now. So because of this, somebody here has to step up to be able to guard the ball handler. If not, that's an easy three-point shot. So when you're telling, you're big to go down, that's an easy basket, because it's going to force that back end or whoever it is here to make a decision. Do they want to have to step up and, guard the three and give up the easy dunk? Or, am I going to just pretty much guard the paint and give up the three? Obviously, the smart thing is we want to try and contest the three and not give up the three, because, we understand that. So, and even if they wind up getting an easy shot, even if they wind up missing it, most of the time, it's an easy board opportunity, and you can get another opportunity and another possession at this. That's tough. They just wound up crashing from the side, but it would have been a great opportunity. They would have had it again. Yes, sir, Ack, we back. I just got your message, bro. We'll talk a little bit after all of this. You tried, those builds have some defense, but not a lot of defense. But, do what you can. With this strength, you can always play down low for short. Yeah. Easy one. Hold on, we'll go back and kind of break that down. You hear him. I'm a Dex it left. and then the cut. What makes five... I'm not going to clap so it's not messing up people's ears. What makes 5-out so effective and so impactful is the spacing that it creates on the court. So we'll go through the deck left. Boom. You have one person in this corner, one person here, one person here, one person on this wing, one person in this corner. So it forces the defense to spread out accordingly. So now when we talk about trying to beat a 3-2 defense, which is what the opposing team is showing right here, because that's the best way to be able to try and guard 5-out, it opens up a lot of opportunities, opens up a lot of lanes. When you talk about attacking any sort of zone, breaking any sort of zone, you want to be able to attack the gaps. So easy gaps, the back doors, easy back doors, the wings, and then straight down, because there's nobody here to guard anything. This is the opposite of a 2-3, where instead of having somebody here trying to guard everything in the paint, you're bringing that person up so you're able to guard the additional shooter. So because of that, it forces you to have to rotate. You have to be able to do something. The drop has to come from either a side, a wing, maybe the person's going to follow and chase. You have to be able to throw different looks. And, on the offensive side, an easy way to be able to get it is quick passes, touch and go. Like, you pass it to the person, tell them to cut quickly, because now they're off of this. They're kind of focused shading. We understand how off-ball pest is on this game. It's a little fluky at times. So him being able to just get this, and especially if you're able to cut and spot finder to the paint, it's going to be even more impactful. So you're able to just cut right down, and it's an easy dunk. It's an easy scoring opportunity. And that's one of the easiest ways to to score in 5-out is to be able to attack the gaps, call cuts, call passbacks, call different types of movement. And you're going to see a lot of different action that they're going to run out of this stuff. And this is some of the simple stuff, but the simple stuff is some of the most effective stuff when it comes to all of this. Boom, easy cut, blew by him. Big. It's tough. Try to get it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, what's good, save? Yo, also chemistry. A lot of people don't know. Icons. Like, you spelled that wrong. Like, yeah, no, people definitely need to understand icons and things like that. Could you do a video on attributes to focus on for each position? Yeah, for sure. We can definitely do something like that, Jasper. We'll get through our film study here, and we'll kind of go through it. But late situation, you see, they're kind of cutting. They're going. They're a little bit too much at times, but they're kind of just getting it together. You see Gliz, he's sliding here. Because of that, they wind up cutting. This, him cutting here drags this defender. So this defender has to follow the cut because, again, there's nobody here. Unless the rotations come in, unless something like that is happening, they have to follow that cut, which is also going to open up this corner. So that's why you have to be able to worry about that section, and they're going to wind up playing that. But here, they wind up throwing it back. And one of the easiest shots, one of the best shots, especially late situation, is a midi fade. Shifty shooter is overpowered this year. It's one of the only things that have a pure green window. That and a midi in general. So if you're looking for something late, you have your guards being able to, go down, take it, boom, take the time, snatch back, drive into the elbow, as a defense, I am sick. We just fought for almost an entire possession to give up a last-second bucket. I am frustrated. But those are so easy, especially because of spacing the 2-3. Dang, that's crazy. That's tough. We'll kind of go over that fast break and things like that. It was a great possession. Unfortunately, they just missed it. Dang. That's tough. It's just strong handle is crazy. Look, that's a tough shot, but we'll kind of just go over it real quick. You see, this is part of 5-out coming up the court quick, right? So off the scoring opportunity, Swag is the one inbounding the ball. A lot of easy up the court action is having your inbounder get into it. Something that we ran with the Blazers is something similar like this. We kind of called it orange, where we have our inbounder come set the screen or set the go screen pretty much as they're here and then pop out to the wing. Or we'd have them come up and set. We have the wrap going. There's a lot of different action that you can do as this person's coming here, and you see them. They're just working it completely. Joe is you have the lock kind of pushing him, trying to funnel him one way. Joe doesn't want to go that way. He's moving. Boom. You have Swag move. They're worried about this because Bauer's cutting through. So look at this. They're completely out of sync. This is a wide open shot. Unfortunately, he stopped right here. It's great awareness by Swag because he knew that if he stopped right there, the lock would have been able to get a late contest. He waits out the jump. He shoots. That's a blinder shot. And unfortunately, he just tempoed it improperly. But that's a great shot. That's a blinder shot. That's an open shot. And that's an easy 3, quick in the shot clock. Great midi. Oh, that's tough. Dang, off the slightly late. That's a great break by the by the other team right there. We'll kind of go over this. So you notice here they said go PNR here, right? They want to coming up. Hoff is coming up. They go PNR. So this team is already out of sorts. This person dropped. They already had to rotate a little bit. They're coming up. So now they have the mismatch that they want. They're going PNR with now you have the weaker person in the corner. You have your power forward or your back end in the left corner. You have your big in the pick and roll, which is one of the easiest mismatches that you can attack in the game of 2K25. It's just an easy one. It's an easy up down. It's an easy slip because this guy is not fast enough to be able to step up and try and contest the 3, to be able to drop down, to be able to contest the slip, to be able to try and get a board, to be able to do all. It's a lot, asking for a lot. That's why you have the power forward in the back end of the PNR in competitive settings. So being able to up down them, being able to just take advantage, being able to have them go and attack the midi. There's so many opportunities that you can do when you have that, the actual center in the back end of your pick and roll. And that's exactly what 𝐿𝐼𝐻 winds up doing here. Unfortunately, he just winds up missing a shot, but it's a great look. It's very high IQ. It's gorgeous. He got the crab. You have Hoff setting it to the wide side of the floor. They were cooked. That should have been a shot. But then again, yeah, like we said, a great fast break by them, making it pay. You got to be able to capitalize on shots. So that works. Personally, as a defender, I'd be sick. I'd be sick. You're just throwing your hands up. Come on, man. You're asking of so much of me. You're there. They wind up funneling Joe into the pinch, which is great. He winds up coming back, winds up snatching back, going there. They have hands up. Unfortunately, the hands wound up dropping for a little bit, and that's what kind of started. And then he wound up getting the layup. remember, this build has a lot of finishing, a decent amount of finishing. Joe is really trying to go for a standing dunker, like a quick, easy dunk, something like, anything like guards, especially in the 5-out set, will go. But easy timing of the meter, that is skill. That is skill. And you're sick as a lock because you don't have a lot of interior, so you're not going to be able to get that all the time. That's sick, yeah. You hear them talking about it, like, that was a breakdown. Now we'll kind of just go over the quick breakdown. 6.8, you need to have everybody back. They're kind of pressing up a little bit more, so they wound up advancing the ball and just following it down. They're following here. They're trying to get into a trapper animation to be able to keep him from being able to get anything. They wound up getting it through. It's crazy that they were able to get it through. Unfortunately, they were just wound up turned. So instead of being able to have their bodies aligned to the passing lane to be able to actually be able to get a steal or something like that, they weren't able to. So he was able to just slip it right through with the high pass act and get a standing dunk. I'd be sick. That's just like, yo, what the hell is going on in that situation? But like, still, it's just high IQ by the other team. A lot of luck too. Wow. Same thing. Oh my god. And one? Wow. Damn, it didn't count? That's tough. They caught them moving? That's so trash. That was so trash. But that was such a great look. Taking advantage of the mismatch. Again, taking advantage of the center and the back in the pick and roll. Choppy. Beautiful shot. It's going to be a little choppy, but they're getting there. Look, team's already like kind of getting set up, and I'll bring it back even further. They just wound up cooking him on a snapshot. Mind you, this is twice. So this is twice within the first 2 quarters that they've used that snatchback, but they've used it after they're kind of driving a little bit. They're kind of mixing it up, but they've caught, wound up hitting like that quick, like, that dog ass shot in the early part, that fade. So you have to play back, but also you can't play but 2 back because they hit that snatch back. It's going to give just enough space that even if you try and hit the closeout, that even if you have legend challenger, it's not going to be enough for you to be able to get that sort of contest. And it's sick. I feel for Bauer as a lock. I know his pain completely, but it's a great shot by them. You could potentially play a little bit better, but there's really not much more you could do. So, exactly right here, they're getting set up. Joe is driving because he has the lock beat, right? So he has the lock beat. These guys have to do something. This person here is already on the block. The power forward is on the block, which means, and you see this person kind of playing 2. They're trying to play 2 to show that, all right, hey, you can't really get this. I'm playing like I can be able to get this, while this person's able to drop or at least pinch to cut off the drive. Joe understands this. They're showing this hand very early. So that's why instead of him trying to go straight down or throwing his pass early, that's why he looks to come and then he kind of drags it a little bit more. So like they're kind of worried about playing the midi a little bit because he's showed it, right? Look, quick snatch back. He brings it back that way. Now oh snap. They dragged it. He has to commit. They're playing 2, but he's not in a complete position to be able to get to this man and be able to get a good contest because Swag has a good blinders. He's rhythm shooting, which is going to make his shot even more impactful. So Joe waits for the pinch. You see the pinch is coming completely. As soon as it's there, he's looking at that the entire time and looking to throw it. He didn't have to worry about iconing it. He just directional passed it, and boom. You heard him. He threw it earlier, just didn't pass it. Dang, they got him with the crab. They just missed it. Oh, he got the weak. He got back around it. That was a dog-ass move right there. We'll kind of go over just like what Gliz did. You see them playing it. They're talking about, what they're doing. Gliz has his leverage left, more so wing side. Swag is kind of playing the back end of the PNR, trying to cut off the slip. Right here, Saharan Sniper, the way he's playing him, Gliz is a little too far over, so he's in a position where he can get crabbed. Gliz is also a guard. He knows that. So he's playing for the crab. The way he's going, he winds up snatching back. As soon as this happening, Gliz is getting over and going for the quick contest. He is jumping. He winds up, not even jumping, just getting a hand up. Getting a hand up and winds up at least getting a weak. What's up, Mikey? Welcome to the stream. And Chris, yeah, it'll definitely depend how long film session will go. Great one right there. Beautiful. I really don't understand why they drop off Swag, who was a phenomenal shooter, but you have to figure out a way. They're not dropping from the strong side in this situation, which is a little interesting. They wound up pinching. And they're pinching because, of course, they had a little bit extra. Gliz winds up cutting. So, off this, leaving him wide open. This guy is dropping OD. They're stuck. He's trying to play Joe. They're a little out of it. They shouldn't have dropped off this. This person, feed them, funnel them off, and get back to the corner. This person's trying to get up. They kind of run into each other just enough. The bump happens. And they pass out. That's so bad, though. But that's great on Gliz. Looking for a quick cut. Wait for the defense to commit. You know that the defense is going to commit because they have to, and you're just throwing a quick dot to the corner. It's a solid blitz right there by Swag. Look, I know they scored off this, but the comms, everything else is immaculate. Yes, I believe so, Mikey. This is from earlier this week. So you hear Bauer, right? He's telling him, he's funneling him to the help. He's funneling him to Swag. He's, trying to do this early on. They're letting their back end know. They're letting the help know early what exactly is going to go on so that you're not telling them right in the moment, because it's going to take it takes your teammates a second to be able to think about it. If you think about playing a game, right? You tell somebody to do something, you've already made the thought, you've already thought about it, and you're already telling them what to do. And then you're already ready to press the button or ready to act on it, where they have to be all right, they have to listen, they have to process, then they have to react. It doesn't really work like that. You have to be able to give them a second. So the way that Bauer was able to communicate this early, just telling them, hey, going for me, I'm sending them your way, is perfect. As well as tweaking a little bit. Go Swag. You see the cut happening. That's what they're talking about. As soon as boom, he funnels him off. He's trying to get back to that corner. He got under him. Strong handles, bro. It's just... I feel the rage completely. Felt that. It's a crazy strong. But that was a great movement here. So you fake the cut like it's happening. They wound up faking the decks again. So they're playing this like it's happening off the cut. Then they're playing this cut. So now this person's pursuing a little bit more. This person's reaching. They're a little bit out of position. The lock here is pursuing. So now, again, the power forward in this position, this power forward, right? If they're sitting here, they're looking to stop the drive. They're looking to drop. They are not going to be able to get here. This is a situation where you could potentially play two, but more often than not, it's an open shot, especially, depending on where they are. So looking at it, and winds up dotting it beautifully. Unfortunately, he winds up getting a great jump and got a strong off of it. But that was a beautiful dot, beautiful way they looked at it. That's tough. That was a great defensive possession by Bauer too. We'll kind of go over a little bit more of that. Maybe we'll just do offense now, and then go into more defense. You all can let me know, and we can do breakdowns of each person specifically as we go on. Beautiful. Look, same here. He winds up going. He winds up snatching back. Steve push into the push cross, right into the dunk. It's just, if as a lock, you're playing, he's trying to center himself. He's trying to sit a little bit low. If anything, I would say that maybe he's not low enough. I don't think that his three ball is good enough to be able to shoot from here. So he's not really a threat to score. So he should be playing it a little bit further. He's up a little bit too much, and he winds up over pursuing. He thinks that he's, right at, I think that's the Steve. I believe that's Steve. And, apologize if I'm messing up the animation. But just, off the move, off the seat, boop, boop. He picks the wrong side. He winds up going this way. So he's pressing L2. He was already out of the situation. He's still kind of holding L2, trying to recover. And still, boom. He honestly might get even a stun animation off that, which you kind of be sick off of. And now winds up getting his push cross. And now you're behind him. You got the meter. You're already not in a position. You probably don't have the highest of chase down. And easy dunk. And Mikey, yeah, this is a really good game. You hear that they are on West, so, it's playing into how they play. Same sort of push cross. They just wound up overplaying it a little bit, but he wound up getting to a great spot. Easy midi. You don't know what any of this means. No cap. You just play like you feel like you're pretty decent. Imagine if you know all the IQ. Hey, and that's exactly why you're here. Part of 2KFR is to learn all of this stuff. And it's not going to be all overnight. It's not going to be, just something that happens right away. You're going to learn it in time. It's going to take over, trial and error. You have to be able to do it in game. You have to be able to learn, because watching it in film, understanding it's going to happen is one thing, but having it happen in the moment and where you have to be able to react split second is a complete different ball game. So you have to do both. Have the awareness by watching film, understanding exactly what is possible, and then having the experience of seeing it in reps, knowing exactly what to do, the mechanical part, combining the two. That's really how you become a great player. 2K clip breakdowns, a crazy creative content idea. Appreciate that. We got a lot more. I mean, you see what the channel's name, NBA 2K Film Room. This is exactly what we do. This is all we're into. So yeah, we're gonna keep this going a little bit. You're locked, so definitely learning here for sure. Nah, man, I respect it. Same. I'm here. I'm gonna lock myself. I'm learning. I learn every single time I watch a different player play, and best way to learn is to watch some of the best of the best. Oh, that's so beautiful behind the back. Got him crabbed. And you know what it is a lock, man. Like, you just gotta tip your cap sometimes. You just have to retain information, understand, but you can't just get in your head. You can only get but so many stops. We'll go through. Wind up quick give and go. Wind up passing. Pass cut. Some of the easiest motion that you can run out of a 5-out offense is pass, give and go. Literally a give and go. Basketball. It's just pass it, cut, pass it, cut. Bear the Beast, T-Wolves Gaming, this is, Shifty Kai, this is one of the biggest things that they were popular for, is this sort of action, being able to do something like this. So, this is great right here. Dang, that's tough. The frontsy. And I'm not sure exactly what the takeover he has on. It might be 3-point architect, but you notice that the opposing PG has blur takeover, so he's getting a little bit more blow-bys, which is only going to make it a lot harder as a lock, especially if you're trying to play a certain side, trying to do things like that, especially due to the Legend Hall of Fame strong handles, Hall of Fame and Legend lightning launches. That was just this dog move by them. You can play it, and we'll talk about all the different ways you can play it defensively, but now we'll just kind of keep going with it. We'll talk about it in another video. Beautiful. You hear it? He lets him know ahead of time. I might have a cut, Gliz. He lets his teammate know, recognize, and then he's like, all right, yeah, you can take it. And he winds up going. One of the easier things, too, he winds up kind of dexing it back. He looks like he's trying to go back, kind of gets the defender to shift just a little bit more to open up that cutting lane. And he winds up cutting right to the basket. Look, boom, backs up. Dex it, boom. They're playing up. Cuts are easy. Wow, that is a crazy lag spike. That's really unfortunate. Dang. They just wound up getting under that completely. Beautiful reach by Bauer. He's playing it. And one. What's up, Ant? Sorry, I'm just seeing this, but no, not playing with Joe. Just watching some of his film. Big fan of him. Known him for a couple years through my time with the 2K League, and just working on the side with the NBA and like creator. So he's a great guy, very intelligent, great businessman as well. So might as well learn from him, right? And might play rec, might not, depending on how long film is. So we'll kind of at the half, 11-point game. See most of the points scoring from point guard. This happens. It's a little bit more spread out here. They'll make the adjustments. I'm interested to see exactly what the adjustments that they are going to make, and this is where the best teams really, differ, right? Like, well, I said differ. What some of the best teams differ, right? It's about how you adjust, how you go on, and a lot of times these are series, right? You're not just one game. One game, it could be a little scary. You get punched in the mouth, it could be it. But in a series, it's all about adjustments. It's about how you adjust The other team is going to adjust to how you adjust, and you're going to adjust again. It's going to literally, it's a cat and mouse. Boom, 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 boom. So interested to see how, black market here is going to adjust and how they continue to go about this series. You've been watching him for years. Probably the best use of the meter dunk in all the community. Oh, for sure. Him, Ant, Bear the Beast, and the Ant I'm talking about is 2K League Ant, Ant Goated, a bunch of different names. Some of the best when it came to running an actual 5-out offense, not just everybody clear out. I'm just gonna dribble, and go. Actual action, actual movement, and this is a hybrid offense, which is honestly one of my favorite offenses to watch, to run, and to go with. What's good, Star? Kind of skip through. That's tough. That was a great dunk. I mean, not great dunk. I'm sorry, great block. The way he played it. He honestly had the midi too, but he was just trying to go for the standing. And that's a great drop here. He just wound up getting a good one. Want the standing dunk. Unfortunately, didn't get it. Sitting at 99.8 to start a 4, but don't want to hop in with randoms. Get a loss, bro. I feel that. I understand it completely. Damn, that's tough. He had 3 on midi? Yeah, for sure. That was crazy. You can only do so much about the game, but we can break down exactly what they did right here, which was extremely impressive. So you have the guard, well, not even the guard, the off guard here on the wing. You have Bauer guarding him. Joe here in the middle. So looking exactly where your help is coming from. They want it passing it, to the lock up top. Same thing. Give and go. Pass, cut. Bauer's trying to play the lane. He winds up getting out of it. He's trying to chase down. Joe's fronting it. This is beautiful right here by Hoff. To be able to just come down just a little bit to show. And as soon as you see, he sees it happening. The guard here sees the drop. He's waiting with the catch. A lot of times, as soon as they see that, they're spamming that button, trying to get it to the pass. They're trying to throw that pass. Spamming that button, trying to get it to the corner. So he knows it. He's just showing and then sprinting back to the corner. He's not going up. He's using turbo early. None of that stuff. He's just dropping down, showing to get in front. And then he's using his turbo to accelerate back in order to be able to get that contest. And it's a good one. He got a weak. And that's a great contest for a footer that has no sort of challenger, no sort of perimeter, that really effective. So that's the great way that you want to play it, and that's fantastic defense right there by Hoff. And that's one of the ways that black market makes black market so good, especially when defending the 5-out, because they play it, they know how to defend it. Just his starter 5. Congratulations. We'll kind of skip through that. Got him. Whole bunch of different things right here. There's a lot of great pieces that we can take from it. So off the rip, you hear them call corner switch, right? So more often than not, Swag Godly right here is going to be in the left corner, and you have Hoff who's going to be in the right corner. When a lot of times off the inbound, we can't control who's going to be the inbounder. So instead of having to have this person inbound the ball and then wait to cut all the way across, it's a lot easier for them to just get the ball and go to this corner. So instead of wasting half the shot clock and then trying to get something going, you just allow them to go to the corner. So a call as simple as corner switch just allows your guards to know that instead of having triangle in my left corner and L2 in my right corner or LT, it's going to be opposite. So it just makes it a lot easier for them. I'll kind of go through quick little screen. Beautiful move by him. And by him doing this, setting it, right? He sets it quick to not only be able to get the middle, but he's trying to look to get the quick switch easy. A lot of times you might not be able to get it, but those times that you do get the quick switch and you're able to get the lock off ball and be able to attack the off guard, it's a lot easier in, 5-out sets. But, didn't work completely because he gets kind of caught in that like sort of off ball pest animation, kind of pushes him off, but he's still able to get back. And because of that, he's like kind of panicking, right? He's worried about giving up the shot. He tries to play low, thinking that it's the drive. Joe is recognizing this because, just like we talked about earlier, he had the 3 in the midi, right? So he's like, shit, I'm cutting low because I think the drive's there. Oh, snap. He was playing the 3 in the midi this time. He's playing the 3. I'm panicking. I am panicking. I need to contest. The only way to try and get a late contest at that point, he's trying to jump because he's sprinting here. It's going to be hard for him to be able to get here, even with the hand up. So, and Joe knows this. No pun intended. No pun intended. He knows this, so he's patient. Waits for it. He waits for the jump, and then drives right past him for the easy dunk. Dang. That's a great move by them. It's a great call out by Gliz. We'll kind of break that down a little bit later. But, oh, that's tough. Even with 13, 13 like left. 13 points. Still got a lot. Like they could still win this. Beautiful action. Cool. They're a little frustrated, but they're not rattled, right? They're down, a little frustrated, not rattled. Bowers inbounding. Joe gets the runoff. Quick pass here. They're looking. They're worried about this guy. Both of them are playing this guy. Instead of communicating 1-1 and being able to cut this off, no. They want to pass in that. They're both here. Bowers wide open. He's able to shoot from limitless at that point. So he is a threat. They pass to him. While that's happening, they're all worried about this guy. Joe is relocating back to the wing. Back to the top of the key, which is honestly beautiful. Boom. Easy extra, set up, cash. All right. Okay, yeah, they kind of gave up the 3 there. But I kind of want to talk about some of the vocabulary that they used here. So they're going. You have Swag here, Gliz here, Joe here, Hoff here, Bauer here, right? Yes, sir. See, review time. Watching some Joe Knows film, Black Market. He's trying to play the lane. Bauer rotates over. You have sorry. Bauer rotates over. Gliz is now in the middle. So Gliz drops down here to try and like cut this off because they're kind of in no man's land. They're trying to rotate and move. Joe rotates over. You see them rotate and swinging. Great on swag, trying to just play it, make sure he's not playing that passing lane. Being able to run. You got the lunge. Could have gotten caught, could have not gotten caught, but still he's able to get there, and Hoff was able to, get back. Guard unfortunately wound up not making him pay, not being able to see the read of them over pursuing, but still was great, great plays by them. But now you hear them saying hyper it, right? Hyper it. A hyper switch is one of the most important terms in the game of 2K. You have Gliz here on the big. This is a mismatch. You don't want this. Like, even though he's trying to front it, this is a pretty, quick jump pass, a quick high pass into the paint, and he's going to pretty much be able to get an easy 2 here. Also, this is now having Gliz in the back end of the PNR, which is not what you want. Like, these are 2 perimeter defenders. They don't really have, even with that, Joe doesn't have the highest of perimeter, but he's still a perimeter defender. They don't really have much interior. You want your big 3, a.k.a. your lock, your power forward, or center. At least one of those 3 in it if they have to be in it. In this situation, like, you want your power forward in it, your back end defender. So in the instance they go and run pick and roll, you have your back end there to guard the pick and roll. So they call hyper, and it has to be quick. It has to be immediate. So when you call a hyper switch like that, you cannot give them a chance to be able to dodge your switch. So, hyper it. They're like, oh, go, 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 go. They immediately switch. Now Gliz gets back to the wing. You have Godly back on the back end. Boom. Go, 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 go. Boom. He's not in a position to be able to score. That's the key of this. Not being in a position to score. He's in movement. They're not able to throw that pass because it wound up being taken or at least being contested if they try and get that shot. And now everybody's good. It's a beautiful play. A beautiful defensive play. Seed, not sure yet. The guys are kind of all over the place. But we definitely will be having Bass Pro runs soon. That was beautiful. We're going to run that back. Crazy here. Look, they're fronting it. They're playing it. You have 2 people back. You have Gliz right here. About to try and make a better back end. Send it. Definitely want to check it out. See when you're done. Gliz is guarding it. You have Bauer in the back end as Swag's coming over. It's pretty much like a quick rotation. They're playing it. He's coming up to the back end, and he just runs up and lanes the shit out of it. It's honestly, Bauer was there too. Like, that's one of those like, damn, bro, you took my steal. But both of them in great position to be able to go the other way. Easy one, quick dunk, feeding the takeover. Another one. There's going to be a key thing that I'm going to bring up shortly. But off of this. Great inbound. You see right there, Bauer is denying this guard the inbound pass. They're forcing it to the other guard. Showing him, following. And now, this is so freaking key. You see where Joe's position is. Once this guard goes past the half-court line, they can't go back. So now, not only do you have a defender in front of him, you have a defender behind him and to the side of him. So now at this angle, this is a blitz. He's going right here, there. This guard knows he's about to get blitzed. He can't make this pass here because he knows that this guy is going to be here trying to take the pass. He also knows that if he tries to throw that pass, this person's going to pretty much come up trying to alert this because this person's not, the lock isn't in the best of situations to be able to get the ball. They are panicking. They're not calling a timeout. Even though they do have timeouts left, they're not calling it. So he's panicking. He winds up trying to go back, tiptoe the line, and winds up getting a backcourt violation due to that blitz. So when we talk about using sidelines as your defenders, as extra defenders, this is exactly what we're talking about. Using your sidelines as extra defenders, blitzing, especially on your press, blitzing that short corner, forcing them pretty much in that backcourt violation. It's an easy way for you to be able to get more, turnovers on your press. If they don't throw the scary, if they throw the scary, if they wind up, trying to get the, move back, you get the blitz. If they wind up getting the violation, 3 different ways that you can be able to get a turnover, cause all kinds of havoc, and it's an easy way to do it. It's a beautiful place right here. And the biggest thing of all of it is pace. If you've noticed, Black Market has completely sped up, the opposing team's pace. It's just so much. Now they're moving. They're being forced to make fast reads. They're being forced to, run, gun. They're not going to be able to keep up at this pace with Black Market. And basketball is really about, and especially the game of 2K, who makes the least amount of mistakes, right? This is exactly what's happening. They're speeding them up. Now they're causing mistakes. They're folding. This was, over a 10-point plus lead. Almost a 20-point plus lead at one point. Staying composed, whittling it down. Now it's getting close. You heard him? He's running 1,000,000 miles a minute, bro. Running 1,000,000 miles a minute, bro. High IQ. We'll just go through it real quick. You see Hoff here setting the screen towards the wide side of the floor. It has a little space, but they'll be able to shrink it. You do have your bigger defenders. They'd be able to shrink the floor, be able to run triangle. They're trying to run away from that. Setting the screen to the wide side of the floor, they have even more action, forcing this person out to come up. Boom. Happens. They're trying to, step up. You can't really run a true stack here because you have your smaller player here in that PNR. In that weak side corner. So your block is off ball. You have the smaller guard, the additional guard in the weak side corner. There's no stack rotation here. They have to be able to show. They have to either, if they are going to be able to run the triangle, that's an easy pass or an easy slip to that pass. That's one of the ways that you can break a triangle rotation is by working towards that wide side, working away from the rotation. But, here they move up. They try and get it. He gets clipped by that damn screen. He winds up going. You see he's going. This is there. If Joe didn't wind up getting bumped, he's probably throwing that pass himself. But when you have high IQ bigs, you don't have to worry about always doing that. You're able to just throw it. Hoff is able to take his time. You see them trying to get the hands up, but Hoff just plays it. Gets a great angle right there. Throws another one right to Bauer. Cash money. 3-point game. Great play. It's Mafia's ball, but still 11 seconds left. Yeah, that's tough. You see how Gliz played it? He called it. They're trying to do it. All right, we'll kind of just go through that. Ghost Swag gets you. He's trying to funnel him towards the help, right? He winds up snatching back. They wind up funneling him towards Joe here on the help. Trying Dex back, not really there, but it's funneling him towards Joe. He gets great bumps, being able to just wall him up. Defend the ball handler really doesn't have much space to be able to go anywhere. They're trying to throw it. Here, You don't want Joe and Gliz in the PNR. You see, as soon as this happening, you have Hawk trying to hyper out with Joe. You know, boom. You see that happen? Instead of Hawk staying here and staying in that corner, Joe's going to chase, allow Hawk to come up to play the back end of the PNR. 4 seconds left. Everybody's in position. You see they're cheating over just a little bit just in case they have to rotate for Swag to be able to drop down. The perfect way to have this is your lock being in this situation because they are fast enough and they have the wingspan enough to be able to play 2 perfectly. He's in the perfect spot so that if they try and play this, he can, potentially steal this, He can bait it. He can be able to show and be able to still be able to sprint down and get a contest. There's a whole bunch of different options. So it makes it very difficult for them to be able to throw a pass to this side. So you've pretty much taken away this side of the floor. You've shrunken this floor, turned it into pretty much a 2v2 at this point. And look, try to take it. He winds up throwing up just a crack shot. Great on Gliz, just playing great defense. Great box. Both of them down there. They just wound up getting a bad ante, but still a good one. Dang, that's a good look though. Well, that's tough. That was a good start. Out here killing a random wreck with your center. Respect. This is a great way to clog the lane there. Yeah. It's really about shrinking the floor. A lot of defense is about shrinking the floor. That's a tough one right there for them. And then starting to understand, I respect that, man. Like, I'm happy to hear that. That's exactly what this is all for. Bow. I mean, you hear Gliz. Wrap me, set the off ball. Beautiful. Easy plays. You have 3 people up here. Wrap you, set the off ball. So now you have your shooting guard being able to wrap. They're able to play high. They have to chase this person because they're a threat to score. You also have to worry about this person, rim running to the basket. So we've noticed that this person right here, this power forward, is been super antsy to drop on every damn thing. Everything. They're just trying to help, overly help. They're not really baiting things either. They're just trying to go. So, same thing. They know, Joe knows he's going. Who's open? Who's wide open? Swag, one of the most consistent shooters. So you wind up taking time. Boom. Cash. 4-point game. They are fighting. Beautiful take. Beautiful move. That was scary. That was completely scary. That could have definitely hurt them. But now you are going into the 4th quarter with great momentum. You've gotten stop after stop. You've completely decimated this lead. This team is like seeing ghost. They don't really know what they're doing. Even when they're getting open shots, they're still missing shots. You're creating a lot of havoc. You're creating turnovers. You're throwing different sorts of rotations. You're helping. You're pinching. You're switching. You're hyper switching. You're throwing, all different types of looks, shrinking the floor, making it very difficult for them to be able to run their offense. And this is how you want to play. Listening to their communication, listening to their comms, letting them, letting each teammate know exactly what's going on, moving things. That's what you want. As honestly, Solid foul right there by Bauer. You have them to go. Another stop. Oof. That's tough. That's tough. They wound up, dotting it. Just a miscommunication breakdown. It happens. The big actually stayed. It's a great move. He had his three at the midi, and they wound up taking him out of it. Great foul by them too. What's up, Pay? Welcome to the stream. Yes, they are running a 3-2. And bet seat. Dog shot by Gliss. One of the best shooting guards in the world. The former #1 overall pick in the NBA 2K League. If you ever want to learn how to play shooting guard, watch that man. That's tough. Pursuit down. Great snatchback. Still a very winnable game. Quick action. Set, you have Hoff coming up to set the off ball. So, setting it here, they're worried about the off ball because you have to be able to help on the off ball, especially when you have somebody with a 99-3, them being able to shoot so deep. You have to have that person step, which is also going to be able to, take away the amount of defenders that you have to be able to defend the drive, which Joe uses to his advantage. Quick one, boom. They're coming up, playing this, pulls him exactly out of the paint after the push cross, right to the basket, easy dunk. It's actually a great ghost screen by Mafia right there. Quick raptor, quick slip. Another dot. That's tough. It's a great shot. It's tough. I'm tapping buttons and nothing's working. Look, we gonna watch this. Same thing. Retaining information, right? Retaining information. We know that this person's going. Like, they want to go all the time. You see them kind of like, just showing it. You know that they want to help. So they have it. Pass it back out. We'll just wait till Joe gets the ball again. Off of this, look, they're kind of showing it just a little bit, like the quick cut. He's playing it. He's not allowing any of that to happen. He wants to drop. He's like, oh, I'm watching Joe's drive too. Like, I'm watching all of this. He waits. They over pursue. This is a fantastic quick Dex, V-cut, whatever you want to call it. This is a great move right here by Swag to be able to just catch him lacking. Attack the aggressive defender right there. They want to drop. Boom. And he's stunned, bro. He's there. He's thinking that, okay, I'm playing up. Like, by the time he even turns and looks, he's got a buzz cut. They just right right past his head. Easy 3. They tried. They're just in a tough situation. They're so switching so quick to 2-3 when it needs top left. Yeah, that's really what changes things. That's the biggest thing. Being able to switch your defensive shells, being able to switch your matchups. It's a dog shot again by Swag. They're just leaving him wide open. And this is, we'll kind of just break that down shortly. They can't score down low. They're not allowing much up top around the perimeter. I mean, you're saying all of it. Like, this is why film and watching 2K is like so much more than what people say. Like, they think that 2K is just, oh, this is this. Everybody plays the same way. Oh, it's, yeah. I'm not going to lie. Some of the animations that are in this game, it's going to force people to play the same way. We don't have as much individuality as you might have in previous years. But there's still a lot of levels and layers to the top levels of competitive Pro-Am compared to other levels, and this is the kind of stuff you want to see. Of course, I'm happy to help, like, nah, you definitely don't know. I'm really happy. Like, this is the stuff we want to do. We want to help people understand and learn a lot of this, and help them understand competitive concepts, help them understand exactly what is possible, all the things that the competitive players, the top players do, because most of the 2K community doesn't understand this stuff. And it's not like they can't do it. It's just they don't know it exists. If you don't know something exists, it just shows that you can't do anything. Wavy, honestly, like, I think 5-out is still good. But you have to understand how to run a proper 5-out. You can't just run a basic 5-out. You have to have the right personnel. You have to have the right sort of system, play calls. And you have to have the IQ. That's the biggest thing. You have to have the IQ. And you see with this team, they're not just running a basic 5-out. They're running a hybrid 5-out. They'll still switch into PNR. They'll switch, set off balls. They'll have other people run screens, attack mismatches. This is a lot of what, you do. This is a very similar system to what we ran, with Blazer 5 Gaming in Season 6, of the 2K League. This is a lot of the same thing. A lot of high motion, quick movement, a lot of different people setting screens, a little bit more traditional basketball. This is a little bit more 5-out motion offense. You don't know how to defend it? Well, we got you. We can definitely break down some film and showing a little bit more how to defend it, because it's not difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy either. There's going to be a lot, and you're still going to be able to give up. You're going to give up some buckets. Shit's going to happen. Completely understand. But it is possible to stop, but you need to play as a team, and that's the biggest thing about that. Yes, a 3-2 zone, but it's specific ways you need to do it, specific rotations. You need to throw different sorts of looks. It comes down to, just like the other way, is you need to make the opposing team think, the opposing guards think, hesitate, force shots, so by throwing different rotations, throwing different drops, the way you're pushing the ball handler to the help defense, shrinking the floor, all kinds of different things like that. How y'all guard consistent wraps? You talking like L2? Y'all part of your healing process? Nah, man, bro, means a lot, man. Of course, that really means a lot. But, and getting back to beautiful, quick, easy stop top. They haven't really ran this. Before, when they do this, they might look, boom, set the off ball, play it. So they're not ready for the stop top. Stop top's a great one, because now you can bucks it off of this. You can, be able to have this happen. You have corners cut. You have wings cut. You can have all different types of action. You can have Fifi action on either side, reverse Fifi action, all different types of wheel. There's so much action that you can run off of this. But even off just a quick, literally just a quick, come up, stop top. They're not there because they're focusing a 2-3. They think that this guy is coming down. He's stopping top. They're out of position. You have arguably one of the best shooters on the floor stopping top at the top of the key, and you let them just get an easy 3. Easy. What's up, Maddox? No, you can't play cross console between PC and PS5. I believe it's only Xbox and oh my god, that's a dog play. It's only Xbox and P5 right now. I'm playing it. Boom, coming over, beats him to the spot, gets a great steal. They have one foul to give for the rest of the game. This is a 2-point game. They have one foul to give. He winds up going for the blitz steal. If he winds up missing this right here in this situation, he's like, that's their foul. Then they're in a very tough spot. Joe, look at this fucking angle. Like, it's the little things. I know, like, I'm overly, like, saying some things, but it's really little things. Look, they shade it. They force the ball to the secondary guard. They force it out of the main ball handler's hands. Bauer goes up. You see the help right here, too. Gliz is coming. So he can't come up this way. He's trying to go this way. Joe is beating him to the spot. He can't go back. It's literally, they are trapping him. He is cooked. I don't know why Mafia is not calling a timeout or anything. They're just speeding up the ball. You kind of see this is what they've been doing. This is exactly what's happening. Boom. You know, it's press, but it's like, it's the way they trap him, the way they press. It's the way they come at the angles to be able to get this. They're trying to force the ball out of their hands. They're trying to force it and speed it up. But unfortunately, this guy's not doing it. They're not calling timeout. They're not doing any of the things that they need to do. Joe gets a perfect pinch, the perfect blitz, gets the ball hand. And we talk about momentum. They had momentum all in the third quarter, like pretty much knocking out that lead now to now. The game is going to reward them. So now, that's crazy. They didn't get rewarded there. But now, Mafia doesn't have their foul to give for the rest of the game. So they're struggling. Everything that they foul off of for the rest of the game is going to be foul shots. And an easy one. Quick, boom, quick cut, pass in. Still speeding them up. Look, speeding them up. Still denying. They're trying to run it off. You see Gliz there. Almost had the blitz. Some water. That is tough. That was so fucking close. Look at that. Look, we talked about that same sort of angle. They did the same thing earlier, like trying to use this, backcourt as an extra defender. Use this, force the ball out. He's playing this, and you just see like the kind of pickup. That's the only thing that sucks. He was going for it. He should have had it. It just is tough. I wouldn't have went for the reach personally. I'm going to try and play for the bump and hopefully using the strength and hoping that on-ball menace or immovable enforcer is going to give me the bump animation while tapping L2. Give me that bump to be able to push them back. But it's cool. Like, you can still go for the blitz. It just sucks because of the hand. You just didn't get what you needed to, and now they just lost theirs. But they're still in a great spot right here. It automatically, complete change. It's got the back end of help. If you misplay there, yep, exactly. That's exactly what part of the press is, and we'll kind of talk about all of that. I'm down to always talk about a press. I'm down to break down anything you guys want to learn when it comes to this sort of shit. Like, this is like John Gruden shit to me, right? You know how like he kind of gets like super into it, like when it comes to football. That's how I feel about the game of 2K. That's how I feel about basketball. That's how I feel about all these concepts. So if people want to learn shit, I got you. Yeah, more defenders, force them to make a smart play. Like, you want to use that. Great high-low. Great bump. Great defense. You heard his comms? Again, part of retaining that information. Glizzy's saying that left corner hasn't shot. He hasn't made a shot. If we're going to have anybody drop, let Swag drop. So that's exactly what they do there. They're trying to get this person to do it. Swag is still, making sure he's dropping back to be able to try and get a contest. But this is a very difficult shot for a bigger, like center. Like, this is a pop trying to make this sort of shot. It's tough. So, Swag's playing it, kind of baiting it, trying to get them to drop. They wind up throwing it. He winds up getting there. It's an open. It's still, he's got to sort of contest. It's not a wide open. He's there. But it's more so mental too, because he's worried about that. He's worried about the contest. He's worried about the closeout shooter. You don't have as many shooting badges, so something like that. But now, boom. Would you look at that? Black market now in the lead. Just like that. It's a tough move. That was actually great action. Quick one. No. Quick wrap. Quick, like, almost like a Space Jam action. Like, just boom. Trying to set it. Just caught him. Honestly, it's a fantastic play. I might want to clip that. Yeah, you played the league playoffs and they ran consistent wraps. Yeah, I got you. We could definitely break that down a little bit more. I'll definitely... We'll finish this up and we could talk a little bit more about consistent wraps. If you have the film, we can kind of break it down a little bit. Great one by Joe. And at this point, he's getting the drives. This is something I didn't kind of mention before. But cool, we got it. This right freaking here. He has his takeover activated. He's been slowly grinding it. He finally has his takeover. This is Blur, similar to the other opposing guard who had it. He's going to be able to get way more blow-bys, so it's going to make his 5-out offense and his ability to be able to strong handle, lightning launch, drive past a defender so much easier. So when now you have the lead, this is going to be an easy way for you to be able to keep the lead, because it's going to allow you to just pretty much take twos. Keep taking twos. It's going to be very difficult for them to be able to stop you. Now you are playing Black Market's game. They've been closing and crumbling the entire time. And Mafia is not calling timeouts. They're not like quelling any sort of momentum. They're not doing things like that. They're not taking any of that sort of stuff into account, or trying to call timeout to be able to, take away a little bit of takeover. Any of those little minute details. So now you're in Joe's world. 1 minute left to go. Have him on the eye. Look. They're so afraid. They're all trying to go. Literally every single movement they're trying to pinch. Nothing you could do. The wings aren't going to help. You need the corners to drop. You need the bigger defenders to be able to get underneath to be able to stop that meter dunk. That's tough. That's a tough one. But look, you still have yours. They have no fouls left. You have final play. You have final play. You have badge. It's your world. You know they want to drop on everything. They are worried. Oh, that's a tough one. Damn. You get some overtime. 𝙇𝙚𝙖𝙜, are you in the Discord? If so, I'm going to drop it in chat. And then DM it to me. We can kind of go over it a little bit after this. In chat, if anybody else wants to join, I'm sending the link tree. For all of those watching the game, maybe on YouTube, things like that, and you want to join the Discord, the link will be in the description below. Feel free to check it out. And if you want us to go over some of your film, we love to do stuff like this. Just feel free to ask. It's a great one, great week. That is great comms right there from them. If there wasn't somebody in the paint, that's a beautiful play. That's almost 3v3 action at that point. But they used their foul already. They just fouled off that, they fouled off that offensive board right there from Hoff. So now Mafia doesn't have their foul in this overtime series. Under 2 again, Joe's World. Notice he's still not too far off of takeover. So he could still be able to get this before this game was over. But he's still being able to benefit from the effects of it. Back struggling, falling asleep. I get it. That's a dog shot, Bauer. Dragging him over. They're so worried about Joe. He's playing low. They're worried about the cuts. Bauer hasn't really been shooting any of these all game long. You're not really focused and worried about him. They're not playing it. But you have to worry about threats. You have to worry about all shooting threats in a 5-out. Especially when your lock can shoot from limitless. Especially consistently like Bauer can. Look, he goes, steps, quick snatch back. He's trying to cut off the drive. They're worried. This is a great cut right here by... So, we'll talk about this cut right here by Swag. Him cutting here takes away this defender from even having a potential chance of trying to get up and try and contest this. So he's just dragging. They wind up getting that off-ball pest animation. He's kind of holding on to him as he's going. It's a wide open look. Like, the only thing that could happen is Bauer missing this, but Bauer's not going to miss that shit. It's a wide open thing. Wavy, yeah, no, there's a lot of there's a good amount of like NBA players that play Comp 2K. There's actually a lot of like NFL players and things like that too. There's a lot of people in the community that play it. Like Tyreek Hill. Oh my God, that was a fucking being able to play the back tap off the aggressive breakdown. Fantastic. You love watching Black Market, but if you watch Bauer a lot, no, sorry, I had to read that again. I love watching Black Market, but if you watch Bauer a lot, he plays on defense, like, but a real good lot. Yeah, no, like, he makes a lot of plays on defense. He makes a lot of plays on offense. I think he's grown so much. Like, another one, bro. Like, they have all the momentum. They are tearing it off of them at this point. They are taking over. And look, Joe is a smidgen away from takeover at this point. It's there. Oh, overplays? Yeah, it happens. Like, it's tough. Like, especially in this game, you can only do but so much. Like, but he's still a very good lock. That's a crazy shot, though. Like, him just, like... No. They go for the blitz. This is where the blitz kind of hurts. You're going for a full blitz, but you don't have anybody to play back off that. And this is a dog fucking shot here. By the guard. Wind up stopping. Kind of got the crab on the shooting guard. So even as he tries to get the contest, you're still going to get a blinders. So it's going to only buff the shot. And hits the open. That's a dog shot. And that is tough. That was such a good situation. You had the big in the back end. He wasn't stepping. Let's go, Swag. Y'all see how he angled that? Look. I know people try and trash on hands up, but hands up is one of the best ways to play defense this year, especially if you're a bigger player. He is fronting this. He is fronting the passing lane. So if this person is trying to throw this ball here, it's not going to happen. If he tries to throw the ball here, it's probably not going to happen. You have Joe kind of playing it, so he's going to be there. If he tries to throw it across the court, you have Hoff playing this, corner-to-corner pass, so he's there. So, and he's playing this lane, so none of these happen. So he's trying to do this. Look, he tries to throw it. He just slightly moves over, gets the nice tip because he slightly moved to keep the hands up. So the animation doesn't pull your hands down. Boom, he gets a great one. Tip pass. Keeping it up. Now it's just all about continuing to kill clock. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's a bad one. But look, no threes. You're still up by 4. You're in a comfortable place. Send it to you in a private message. Join the Discord. I'm a PG on Always Blessed, the regular season game team that beat us in playoffs. Yeah, man, bro, I respect it. 𝙇𝙚𝙖𝙜𝙪𝙚. No, I've heard of Always Blessed. You guys have been around for a little bit, so yeah, no, we could definitely go over it, talk about it. I'm always willing to. It's a great bump. That's fine. Give up the 2. Don't give up the 3. You call the timeout. 13.8. They have no fouls to give. They're down by 2. You know, they have 2 timeouts. But, like, look. You just advance the ball, too. Another thing right here. You just call timeout. You advance the ball. So that means here, you know, under 2 minutes, you know, in pretty much when it comes to, like, in the fourth quarter and overtime, if you call timeout, as soon as like person scores right off the inbound, like right off baseline right here, you're able to advance the ball. You're gonna bring it to the other side of the line. You know, you see a lot of times where people are like, "Oh, why is it not advancing the ball?" Most of the time, it's because people pass the ball in first and then call timeout. You do not want to do that. If you pass the ball in first and then call timeout, it's only going to advance you like here. So you're going to be on the pretty much you're going to advance the ball, but it's going to be on the backcourt side. So this way, you advance the ball forward, but now because you technically haven't, you know, fully crossed half court yet, you have the opportunity to run back court and receive the inbound pass. So this will allow you to kill even more clock. It'll allow them, you know, even more space on the floor for you to be able to, you know, run back, for them to be able to defend, and allow you to kill even more of that because they have to be able to chase you. Trying to win a chip, we lower level. We did play Mafia, lost by 6. I mean, they're a solid team. Like, I don't think they're, like, you know, the greatest. They're a good team, but every team could be beaten. And, like, especially on this game, bro. Especially on this game. Good one right there, like we said. What did they do? Hold on. They wound up just passing it in. Cool. Whatever. So this is big here. So this shot right here puts you up 4. You have 1 to give. So in this situation, they're going to try and call quick. They might call a quick timeout to advance the ball themselves. You know, they're be able to still keep 1, you know, for the next possession because they need to score 4 points. They can try and score quick and then play the foul game, you know, and then try and get up a quick 3. It's going to get a little bit tough for them. When it comes to, you know, black market, they still have a foul, right? So if in any situation I am beat out of a play, if I am exposed, if I'm potentially about to give up a 3, I am fouling their asses. Fouling their asses. That's simple. Just something like that. Fouling them, resetting the play. I'm not giving up a 3. I'm not giving them the opportunity. I'm going to try and kill as much clock as possible, and if anything, I'm going to give up the 2 and, you know, do what we need to do. We have no timeout, so that means, you know, after them doing, like, you know, if they wind up scoring that 2, we're going to have to be able to play the inbound game, you know, and we're going to have to make sure we're really good off just a baseline inbound, and we understand how flukies are. So, like, we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where they score 3, and then we're playing the inbound game because we've all seen 2K games do some wild shit towards the end. So we don't want to put ourselves in a situation. You want to make sure you're taking situational awareness, using that foul if you need to, so you're not being able, you know, giving up an early 3. What? With the game on the line? That's the shot you take? Whatever. But look, great on them. Smart on 𝙜𝙧. 𝙜𝙧 probably has a lower free throw. He doesn't want to take them. You know, give it to your higher free throw shooters. Allow them to be able to cash. But now, like, it's pretty much his game at this point. It's pretty much like, it's still feasible. Don't get me wrong. Crazier things have happened. So you still want to be able to play this. You want to make sure no quick twos. You want to be able to guard all threes. But you've pretty much sealed this. I want to keep stressing the fact that, yeah, this game is close. It's been crazy. But Black Market is playing on West servers. They're playing on Mafia servers. So this means, like, they're a little bit more sluggish. They're a little bit more delayed. You know, their ability to be able to, you know, their input delay is, you know, a lot less responsive. A lot of things. Like, this is pretty much playing at a handicap. Most games and most competitive leagues, they always play everything on East. It's always on East. So, like, you know, this one being on their server, it forces them to play, you know, a little bit differently. It's going to disrupt them a lot. You saw the lags. They fought through all of that adversity, and they're still here in this situation. And this is why Black Market is one of the best teams in 2K25 and just competitive 2K period. And just like that,